Alright boys, girls and anything in between. Yes, we have finally completed stage 2023 of the game known as Human Ruddy Existence. What great titles await us on level 2024? Who knows and who ruddy cares? If you're here, then you know there's no school like the old school, and you just want to know about all the greatest games you may have missed upon their bloomin' release. So let's back to the year of 2001, the time of the fattest console around. Yes, that's right, it's the OG Xbox. So, without further bloody ado, let's jump headfirst into 5 of my favourite, overlooked, underrated, forgotten, or whatever you ruddy want to call it gems, hiding away within the system's vast library. It may be the year 2024, but sport really hasn't changed all that much. Well, that is unless you watch ruddy slap fighting. Where is all the futuristic carnage that the movies of old promised us? We have no races to the death, no men that are running, and no rollerballing. Instead, we are stuck with watching grown men rolling around like they've been shot from a teeny tiny tap to the goddamn leg.
I just want to say, shut up, you soppy wanker!
But never fear, as video games are here, so I present to you Death Row, a game where inmates are subjected to trials, or as we call them in the real world, steroids, and then forced into a deadly televised sporting event, where they must punch, kick, grapple, and fight to survive whilst also trying to outscore their opponents. This weird mix of brawler and Tron-like discs takes clear inspiration from a ton of sports, well, basically all of them, as well as retro flicks from yesteryear, which just gives us an insanely ruddy good time. But it's not as mindless as it sounds though, and there is a layer of depth and strategy to the matches, like pickups that give your team various boosts and special disc-based moves that can also be charged for ultimate effect, which you'll need to utilise to their fullest to overcome the colourful cast of opposing teams. Unfortunately though, even though the single player boasts a silly story filled with the satire of the movies that so clearly inspired it, Death Row is a game I'd recommend playing in multiplayer, as the AI can be a little bit of a mess. But if you can get some friends around and rekindle the magic of the days of the system link, I highly suggest you do, as this one is top notch.
This is what it does, it appeals to like the male fantasy.
Secret organization to protect mankind. They are the front line in an unholy war. They are the Darkwatch.
Vampires, check. Cowboys, check. Steampunk shenanigans, check. Lots of lovely jubblies, double check.
I gotta catch a glimpse of these warlocks.
Do I really need to say more? Oh, I do. Okay, well, Darkwatch is one of the most underrated shooters to ever grace the ruddy world, and comes to us from none other than High Moon Studios. May you rest in peace, guys. Yes, I know they are still about, but working on COD may be a fate far worse than death. Hashtag Free High Moon Studios. Am I right? Anywho, yeah, so Darkwatch. Darkwatch is one of the finest, funniest, and filthiest first-person shooters that you're likely to find on the old Xbox, and deserves to be played by just about anyone with a pulse. From the weapons, the bloodshed, the insanely satisfying gunplay, to the B-movie cheese of the story, Darkwatch is just a joy to experience, from start to finish, and thanks to the sheer amount of detail crammed into every pixel of the game, especially the old jubblies, combined with the incredible art and sound design, the game is still an absolute vampiric blast even to this day. Honestly though, the sound effects, music, enemy design, and overall tone are absolutely of the highest ruddy pedigree here and hold up so well. Anyway, that's enough gushing, just sink your teeth into this one.
If an ounce of justice still remains in you, give up on that man and surrender by 5 p.m. today. This is our final ultimatum.
When the Vice President tries to take over the country by force, the President of the United States must suit up in his own goddamn mech and fight for freedom and justice. While the thought of either Trump or Biden controlling a heavily armed mech is a true nightmare not to be thought about.
China.
In game form, however, it's just a great setup for some insanely bombastic, destructively good times. Yeah, sure, the story is intentionally silly with some of the best, bad, borderline parody-esque writing and voice acting ever, but when you merge that tongue-in-cheek humour with the explosion a minute ever so slightly mindless yet grin-inducing all-out action gameplay, then, well, you just get Metal Wolf Chaos. A game so ridiculous, so batshit crazy, that it's just kinda impossible not to love. I mean, yeah, sure, you just basically blow up all in your way while choosing the right weapons for the right enemy for a few hours straight, but all that destruction mixed with the almost Team America-esque humour just somehow clicks to make Metal Wolf Chaos an easy recommendation to anyone who just wants to turn their ruddy brain off and blow some shit up. It may not make sense at times, but who cares? It's the president of the USA controlling a mech, touting a ridiculous arsenal of weaponry for you to customize to your heart's content. What's not to like? Oh yeah, it was developed by From Software too, so there's that. While this may not be an overly original choice to anyone who watches this type of content on the regs, I still don't hear many people talk enough about Kung Fu Chaos. Ninja Theory have never really got the praise they deserved, even from their early days. Yeah, this relatively unknown party game was brought to you by the same team that gave us Enslaved and Hellblade. Quite the departure, I know. However, hidden beneath the funk-infused look of the game is a chaotic mashup of Power Stone, Mario Party, and an ever so slight sprinkle of Smash Bros. That's bursting with a great sense of humour, throwbacks to the martial arts films of old, and a healthy overdose of style. It may not be that mechanically deep, but the tight controls, exceptional level design, hilarious minigames, and the unique movie-in-the-making gimmick all gel to make a game that's just as funny as it is fun to punch and kick your way through. However, it really is a game that is best played with a few others for the best experience, as the well-crafted original characters, taunts, special attacks and finishes will have you and your friends laughing throughout.
Oh, Ninja, you make me feel like woman.
Haha, forget your face. I kick sand on your breasts.
Huh?
Long before Arcane tainted their name by cursing gamers with Redfall, and before Dishonored put them on the map, they gave us Arx Fatalis, a strikingly good first-person action RPG that feels like the little cousin of Elder Scrolls Morrowind in my opinion. Obviously though, that means there's all the hacking and slashing, exploring, quest completing shenanigans you could ever ask for. But where this one differs is in its wholly unique magic system that sees you remembering and inputting a series of set button moves to cast certain spells. Kinda like special moves in a fighting game, if you get my point. And yeah, it may not be as intuitive as the PC version mouse movements, but it still helps Fatalis stand out above the rest. Another standout is the game's dark, gritty, and immersive aesthetic. You see, the game is set in a land where the sun has vanished, and humanity, amongst many other creatures like goblins, demons, golems, and the undead, have been forced to live underground in a series of interconnecting caves and tunnels, which, in turn, with the amnesiac, mystery-filled plight of our hero, makes for a world you just can't help but get sucked into. The game does have some issues, but if you're a fan of the genre, this one must be in your collection. Right, I'm relatively new to collecting for the OG Xbox. When I first purchased the console in high school, yeah, I'm that old, I only got the console for Halo 2. But I'm currently going through its library to find the best of the rest to recommend to all you guys, so just bear with me. If you have any OG recommendations, hit me up down below. Don't forget to hit that like button. However, more importantly, you guys stay tipsy.